It's your boy Ownlane Davo, and we back with another video. All right, look, we got a good one. We got something a little different also. You know what I mean? We got BlackySpeaks, Black Fatigue, why we are tired of ghetto culture. And I am too. But we finna see what they talking about, what they mean by Black Fatigue, because some people be trying to dress it up as some other shit, if you know what I mean. So let's get right to it.
Hey man, it's getting spooky. I just came across something called Black Fatigue, and basically it's white Americans are sick of our shit.
I got news for you. Black Americans are sick of your shit. Black people are sick of black people's shit.
Basically, society is saying that
We sick of ghetto people shit. Ghetto people that happen to be black. Like I'll shit. If a person was right and there's being ghetto near me, I'd be sick of their shit too. It don't matter what race you are. I'm just niggas tired of ghetto shit, period. Especially once you hit a certain age.
tired of how black people are blaming things that have happened to us historically in the past, and they are also now adding different things that they have seen in society to that behavior as well, like loud mouthing or maybe, you know, using certain words or certain behaviors in public.
Black fatigue seems to be growing, especially within the black community. There's a growing frustration within certain behaviors, and more people are starting to speak up about it.
White people, black people, Hispanic people are saying we have black fatigue because of the behavior of some black people.
It's not racist to call black people out for their behavior and what they're doing to society at this moment. I'm glad.
The thing is, it's not about calling black people out. It's about calling the people that need to be called out. You know what I mean? It's like you can't say, that's like a motherfucker saying I got white fatigue or Hispanic fatigue because they always see on the news white people, Hispanic people causing like problems or whatever. Just say you got ghetto fatigue. If they acting ghetto, you got ghetto fatigue. What you mean? Black fatigue. I get it though. It's supposed to get this reaction. That's why they use that word particular. Black fatigue. They could have said something else, but they chose that on purpose.
People are noticing this because it's been so many years and it's finally catching up to y'all.
So is there some truth to it, or is it just another form of racism? And how come so many black people are starting to speak up about this now? Either way, we got a lot to talk about today. Now, black fatigue is a growing term in the social media world, a phrase that's meant to explain a rising frustration, dissatisfaction.
Nah, that nigga just an asshole, bro. that nigga just an asshole.
And even resentment towards a small portion of the black community and some of the dysfunctional behaviors that are increasingly being called out.
Yeah,
but here's
crazy.
the thing, this isn't a new term. The phrase black fatigue was originally coined in 2020 by Mary Frances Winters, a black author from New York. She was inspired to explore the concept after hearing the same phrase come up again and again from black millennials. "I'm tired," they kept on saying. The exhaustion wasn't just physical, it ran deep, tied to emotion, history, and identity. In her book, Black Fatigue, How Racism Erodes the Mind, Body, and Spirit, she explains that the original meaning of
I might have to, hold on. Ooh, she finna explain what it mean, hold on.
the term was about the centuries-long toll of the systematic racism passed down through generations. Now that was the original definition, but now the term has taken on a completely new meaning.
Now to black fatigue, it has recently been turned into a feeling that some white and black people have who say they are damn tired of foolishness of some black people.
It is a completely behavior.
Duh, nigga. People always get tired of people that doesn't fit their lifestyle. You know? I put it like this. If black fatigue is linked to ghetto culture, but you have two black people. One of them is a part of the ghetto culture. Another one is not. The one that's not a part of ghetto culture is gonna have fatigue for the niggas that are a part of ghetto culture. But that don't mean that they're tired of them being like them as a person, as them being black. They're just tired of how they're acting.
Behavior-based issue. And when white people, black people, Hispanic people are saying we have black fatigue because of the behavior of some black people, we've all seen it, we all know what it is. It's everywhere.
There are thousands of TikToks on it, posts all over X, YouTube videos, and even some mainstream outlets starting to cover it. I only started hearing about this term very recently, and at first I assumed it was mostly coming from people outside the black community, but to my surprise, a large portion of the conversation is actually being led by black people, and that's when I knew that I had to do my own research by looking into this and sharing my take on it with you.
Facts.
Many of the most viral TikToks on this topics are coming from within the community itself.
This nigga look
Black
like
fatigue is real. Everybody is tired of black people, but it's too specific.
And like that nigga sound exactly how he look.
Types of black people that everyone is tired of. Number one, everybody is tired of loud, ghetto, and ratchet, and violent, and mean, and angry all the time. Everybody is tired of them.
Yes.
Nobody wants to deal with them. Even other black people do not want to deal with these people. You know when you see them in public. You know when they're going to give you attitude at the CVS. Everybody knows it, and they want to avoid it.
So how did we even get here? The answer to this can go in a few different directions. But let's talk about the most impactful factor of this, being the media. We're talking viral body cam footage of police encounters involving black people to dine and dash stories that reinforce negative stereotypes.
Yeah, true. I always say that a lot of people are on the internet. So if all this stuff going viral and the person is black and they're doing all this crazy ass shit, people really base their reality off of the internet. So it's like once they see that, they're gonna instantly just, be like, huh, makes sense, or just like I always knew. So it's like, but I mean,
Surveillance cameras caught 3 people leaving without paying a $200 bill for a shrimp and lobster dinner, according to the owners.
Or the countless of fights, whether it's on a street corner or inside a McDonald's. The majority of these clips tend to feature people who, look like me, and they also seem to go viral, often shaping how outsiders view blackness as a whole. This type of content has definitely influenced how a lot of people, white, Hispanic, or even black folks, view the culture. Unfortunately, over time, it's helped reinforce harmful narratives, and in many cases has been used to normalize different forms of racism. And
nigga, TikTok the dine and dash. What do you, nigga? People do anything to get popular on the internet. Trying to tell you.
Let's be clear. We all understand that none of the reactions rooted in these stereotypes are justified, because it's not fair or accurate to take the behavior of a few and apply it to an entire group. However, when certain behaviors are caught on camera and go viral over and over and over again, they unfortunately start to paint an image of the entire community based on a handful of viral clips. Not because they reflect us, because obviously, I'm not on that. If you're black, you're probably not on this. At the end of the day, though, all the viral content is based on real situations that happened in the real world. Now let's take a closer look at some of the real world.
And you can't, and it's like, the only people, the ones that are in the video, they have to obviously not do that stuff, So it's like, you can't get mad at people being like, man, I'm like, being on edge, Because it's like, just like a black person with a white person, Some people be on edge when they're around white people because they don't trust them. Just like some white people be on edge around black people because they don't trust them.
Examples that have been fueling these conversations, starting with the dine and dash incidents. Now, during the pandemic, or should I say the bandemic, in 2020 when the stimmy checks, the ban started hitting people's accounts and everybody started acting like Black Youngster when he first signed his record deal. Yes, the pandemic.
I ain't touching nothing. I ain't getting no loan. Nothing, nigga. Well, actually, I got the stimmy. I did get the stimmy. I ain't gonna cap.
Like your money.
I put that motherfucker towards a car. Got my whip. I said, oh yeah, we good now.
Seeing more of these so-called dine and dash videos pop up.
We've all heard of dining and dashing. That's when a customer comes into a restaurant, grabs a bite to eat, and then skips out on the bill, leaving the restaurant without paying.
For all my international viewers, dine and dash is when people go to a restaurant, stuff their greedy bellies with food, drinks, and all that you can possibly eat, and then they leave and they don't pay a single dime. This phenomenon or crime has always existed, but it became increasingly common in America after the pandemic.
They watched as the party of 7 sat at their table.
Them niggas ran through their bands, couldn't afford no bills.
their food already packaged into go boxes. Then they began to get up and eventually run out the restaurant's door, leaving their $200 bill unpaid.
Damn.
So these clips of large groups walking out without paying began to go viral after 2020. And as it relates to the topic at hand, unfortunately, the majority of the people in those videos were black, and that obviously makes us look very bad. Now, is it all black folks? Of course not, because we're not a monolith. The behavior of one individual doesn't mean the next person is going to show up in the same way. So applying that assumption broadly would be inaccurate. I mean, if you're black, if you're watching this, I'm sure we're probably going to relate, but I would personally never go to a restaurant if I knew that my account was empty. I mean, at that point, we're having sleep for dinner because we're grown, okay?
Nah, facts. I don't know. Yeah. I don't think I ever done and dash before. Yeah, I don't think I did. I ain't gonna lie, nigga. I definitely from Walmart. You know, Target, CVS. But not a lot though. Not a lot. Because I was like, damn, someone gotta pay for this shit, you know? And I was like, fuck it, it's gonna be me. I'm gonna pay for my shit.
However, with that being said, one thing I've consistently heard from a lot of my friends in the service industry, I'm talking waiters and waitresses and even restaurant managers, is that black customers are the hardest to serve. Now, this has not only been said by all races of people, but I'm saying like other black...
I ain't gonna lie. I definitely heard that before. I heard that before. I ain't gonna lie. That's why I ain't gonna say that's why. I'm just naturally like a good customer, I guess. I don't know how you say it. Like, I try to be as simple and easy as possible. I try not to ask for hella extra shit. Give them grace, stuff like that. But it's about how you're raised, though. How you're raised and the people that was around you. You know. So you gotta watch people who are mean to like servers and waitresses and stuff like that. Like, that's a sign of a person with a bad character.
Black folks in the service industry are saying this, okay? Whether it's not tipping, sending food back too often, we're asking for refunds after they've ate. It's often said that those things are more common.
What did you gain from that, my nigga? What did you gain from that? Nigga, you still walked in the building. If you're gonna do that, you might as well just turn around. You gonna knock over niggas' food, then go order some food?
Among black customers. So that's the perception a lot of people in the service industry have of us, which is very unfortunate and it's very sad. I mean, it's not a comfortable thing to acknowledge or even talk about. I hate the fact that some people might expect a certain type of behavior of people who look like me as soon as, let's say, we might step into a spot, right? And although, you know, the stereotype doesn't obviously apply to all black people like me or you, I can't, if you're black that is, or if you're white, then obviously I ain't talking about you, right? I can't ignore the experiences they've shared with me. Now let's dive into the dine and dash.
I ain't gonna lie though. Being black, I feel like it never dictate how I ordered though. You get me? Like, if it changed how they serve me, okay, whatever. How would I know? How would I know if they're serving me different from everyone else? If I never been there before. It's my, you know? But me being black, I was never like, oh, I'm black, let me make sure I'm ordering a certain way. No, I'm gonna order how I order, and I'm naturally in. If you're a respectful person, you're gonna be respectful no matter your skin tone, no matter your race. You get me? And it's like, you know, it's all stereotypes at the end of the day. You know what I mean? So
stuff a little more. Because speaking of a particular incident, which was one of the news stories I played you earlier, it went viral a few weeks ago. A black-owned restaurant in Chicago called Flav's served 3 people, 2 women and a man, all black, and they decided to run up a tab of over $200 of shrimp and lobster, okay, and a bunch of drinks too. And then they decided to run out the spot.
It's actually disappointing. You know, it's very disappointing to see that from the community that we actually serve, because we pour into our
like Black Jesus.
We're a small business, and I see this happening so often to a lot of different small businesses throughout the city.
Now, I'm not saying that doing this to other groups of people, regardless of race, is okay, but it's extremely sad that this was black folks doing this to other black folks. The young woman, the waitress, who...
That makes it look even worse. You know? People like this have no code, no morals. You know what I'm saying? But it's like, yeah.
Who served the table was a black woman who had kids at home, mind you. Her not getting a percentage of a tip literally means she's not going to be able to survive in this economy. Because in America, tipping isn't optional, it's survival. A lot of servers don't even make minimum wage. Their income depends on those tips. So
Yeah,
when
facts.
you dine and dash, you're not just finessing the system,
I'm laughing
you're
and
hurting
shit.
working class
Laughing, broke as hell.
tips. So when you
she laughing up.
dine and
What? Is that funny? Stealing, is that funny to you? Yeah, fun, huh?
dash, you're not just finessing the system, you're hurting working class people, many of whom are black themselves, just trying to make it through this world and this economy like the rest of us. By the way, really quickly, if you're enjoying this conversation, drop a like for the algorithm and subscribe if you want to hear from me and you want to see my ugly ass face, okay?
They apologize.
Hey, like, comment, subscribe to all that good stuff. Be back into the video.
They sent someone up here to pay the bill, but I declined to accept it. At that point, it was just like, you know, we gonna pursue this the right way.
And apparently they sent somebody to pay the tab on their behalf after they got exposed on social media. So you telling me that y'all didn't even have the decency to go in like grown folks and say, I apologize, I'm sorry.
They niggas like, oh shit, let's pay the motherfucker real quick. Nigga ain't think they had cameras?
Sorry, this economy is beating my ass. Not that it would make it okay, but you get what I'm saying? Like, you didn't even have the decency to actually go in and show your face. That's crazy. They sent another person to pay because they didn't have enough courage to show their faces in the establishment. What a shame. Now, another story that went viral, again, featuring black folks. Absolutely hate the fact that we're getting this type of PR, but it is what it is, right? This story involved 3 black women, once again, in Chicago. Can somebody tell me what's in the water in Chicago with all these incidents happening? The audacity of this particular story is next level because these 3 women didn't only dine and dash after a $262 bill, they were also caught in 4K, strike number 1.
So the 3 women from Rochester, New York.
Nigga, y'all ate all that food? Holy, hold on. I was gonna say, lemon drop, $68. Oh my God. That's all I don't drink.
Bill, they were also caught in 4K, strike number 1.
So the 3 women from Rochester, New York visited Soul Vibes in the Near North neighborhood to celebrate a birthday and left behind a surprise, an unpaid tab of over $200.
And they also made a reservation with their names, phone numbers, and personal info, strike number 2.
They were spotted on surveillance, leaving one by one within 30 seconds of the server stepping away. They also forgot that they signed up on the wait list before being seated, including their name and phone number.
And strike number 3 is that they actually went on.
How dumb can you be? Niggas don't even know how to steal right.
Social media, and they thanked a black-owned business for the free food that they stole, right? And that's how they ended up getting caught.
And to add insult to injury, they posted this onto social media.
This is ghetto. This is just ghetto. This is, yeah. Dumb. My bad, y'all. I ain't never seen any of this.
Thanking the restaurant for the free food.
Thank you for the free
food. At waitstaff like Chloe Jackson.
You hear a lot of us screaming, support black businesses.
Thank you for the free food. It's crazy.
It's so sad, and it's also really hard to ignore that these types of crimes are becoming more and more common in general. And the fact that it's a lot of melanated folks doing this to other people who look like them, I mean, it's a shame. What do you want me to say? I'm not celebrating that I have to make this video. Like, it's actually an uncomfortable video to make because I'm not happy to see black businesses suffering because other people who look like them are literally stealing money from them. Like, I absolutely hate that I have to talk about this, and it breaks my heart. By the way, if you've been rocking with your boy for
hold on, I feel like it's like you gotta, it's like, damn, hold on, I just lost my train of thought, bro.
a while and want to support, just want to let you guys know that I dropped my first piece of merchandise recently. It's from my brand Blacky Apparel. As you can see, I'm actually rocking the let's continue with the video. Black fatigue isn't really about race or skin color. It's about a culture, a mindset that some black people are choosing to embody. Similar to the Hawaiian mindset topic that we recently spoke about, which is definitely a great video that I would recommend that you check out. The Hawaiian mindset is a term that's, of course, coined by me at this point, which describes a youth-driven culture often tied to erratic behavior that more often than not ends up harming others, whether it's stealing, robbing, or just being loud and belligerent in public spaces. Now, this culture that
them niggas got some courage. Fuck. I'm telling you, bruh. The 13-year-olds, no, the 14-year-olds, nowadays in 2025 compared to the 14-year-olds, the people that was 14 in 2010 or something. I'm telling you, but it's different. These niggas now are different. They find new ways to get arrested, new ways to cause some bullshit.
I'm talking about is separate from blackness itself. I mean, we're talking about a fatigue with what often is called ghetto culture. And ghetto culture is not black culture, nor is it foundational black American culture. When I say the word culture, by the way, I mean it in the actual definition. And the definition is the shared attitudes, behaviors, and values of a specific group of people. This isn't about race. It's a mindset that anyone can adopt, regardless of racial background. With that being said, I've seen this kind of behavior from white folks, Hispanic folks, and black folks, of course. So it's not about skin color. It's about class, environment, and ultimately how someone chooses to carry themselves. Because the way you choose to...
Because every nigga that's from the hood do not act the same. And we all know that. Ghetto people happen to be in the hood. If you want to keep it real, keep it real. Ghetto people happen to be in the hood. Or you're most likely to find a ghetto person in like the hood or whatever. But everyone from there doesn't act like that. You know, you got people that's different. Nerds, quote unquote, or just regular dudes, regular 9-to-5 dudes. You know, people just doing all kind of stuff. But you know, it's not like you said. We're not a monolith. Pretty much, you can't be out here just thinking this one culture is doing this. Like, once you really get in the real world and you start interacting with different people and different cultures on a daily basis, like me, I won't say like me, but like that's how I do. You get like a different perspective. You know, like.
Walk through this life, your demeanor, your energy, that's not only something you can control, but it is a conscious decision. We all have a choice in how we show up. So when I mention ghetto culture, I'm not talking about blackness. I'm talking about a specific pattern of behavior, which is undoubtedly dysfunctional and not a productive way of showing up in society. And a lot of it is often born from struggle, limited resources, and sometimes a rejection of accountability. And the accountability aspect is important because when black people are constantly boxed into a certain identity by the world, but especially by each other, it creates a mental and cultural trap, which is ironic because, you know, that kind of makes me think about trap music and the fact that trap music is a thing. Because when you really think about the name, it sounds like the soundtrack for a lifestyle designed to keep you stuck, trapped in survival mode, trap music, trapped in dysfunction, and ultimately trapped in the lower levels of society. And often,
nah, this nigga cooking. Damn, Blackie, this nigga cooking right now. Well, that's facts. If you don't hold people accountable, how are they gonna know that their actions aren't good or their actions are a detriment? You gotta hold people accountable for the things they do. But if you're surrounded by people that do the same shit as you, you're less likely to be held accountable because they are doing the exact same thing. So if they gotta hold you accountable, they gotta hold themselves accountable. And people don't hold themselves accountable as much as we like to believe.
when a black person within the community wants to grow, like they make a decision to actually grow or take a responsibility or move differently, they're met with pushback from their own people.
Facts.
They get told things like, you think you're better than us, or that's not how we do things. A lot of my...
Fuck it. If people like, oh, think you better than me? Yes. I do think I'm better than you. Now what? Now what? Like, you asking me these questions for a reason. Yeah, I think I'm better than you. What you gonna do about it? So don't ask me dumb questions.
Black folks, I'm sure y'all can relate to exactly what I'm talking about right now. Elevating beyond who you used to be becomes a problem, and sticking with what you know becomes the norm, even if it means staying stuck in pain or dysfunction down the line. And the question is, why is this accountability issue even a thing in the first place, specifically within parts of the black community in America? Understanding this is not about making excuses, by the way, because we do have to acknowledge the subconscious effect of generations of instability and what it really does to people. When you grow up in an environment,
that shit gets ingrained in you. You know what I mean? Like if you ain't never like lived it or experienced it, you wouldn't really understand. You wouldn't really know. But that shit gets ingrained in you. Like every day, you got to choose to not go down that path. You know, because the opportunities to go down that path is more than it would be if you didn't grow up in that environment. You know what I mean?
Where poverty is the norm, where instability is constant and neglect is a part of daily life. What happens is certain mindsets start to form. You learn to cut corners because survival starts to feel more important than structure. And
Was that nigga with them, or they just kidnapped that nigga?
You learn to cut corners because survival starts to
must
feel
be with
more
them, or
important
they
than
kidnapped the nigga or
structure,
something.
and you begin to distrust institutions, which, to
Yeah,
be
he with
fair,
them.
black people in America have had valid reasons to.
Sorry, off topic. This nigga got his fingerprints all on the gate. Dumbass nigga.
To distrust for a long time. You feel like the world around you has failed you, and that leads to behaviors rooted in avoidance, rebellion, and sometimes hopelessness. During the Jim Crow era, black people were stripped of opportunity, education, protection, and dignity. Entire communities were locked out of wealth, building, and basic rights, and that creates a ripple effect. When generation after generation is forced to adapt just to survive, it plants the seed for behaviors rooted in survival over structure.
Like, I'm not even the type of, damn, I don't even want to get into all that. I'm not even the type of person to even, I don't even think about, like, it's gonna sound so bad, corny. I really don't even be thinking about, like, race. Like, if I meet someone, I meet different people every day, I'm literally just like, oh, how you doing? You know? I don't really think, like, I really don't ever think about, like, oh, this person white, this person is black, this person is Hispanic. Like, I'm just talking to them. You know what I mean? So, yeah, damn.
So right now we're talking about the psychological and subconscious effect of what's happened in history. But even with all that context, okay, with all that being said, I want to make something very clear. At the end of the day, how you show up in public spaces, whether you dine and dash or not, isn't about slavery or Jim Crow.
Facts.
It's about personal accountability. Whether you're white, black, Latino, Asian, purple, green, I don't care, blue.
Like, we done had a lot of shit. Had a lot of shit happen to us. Like, a lot of shit. Like, hold on, matter of fact, I'm gonna show y'all. Damn, I don't know if you're able to read that. But like, this shit right here, like, this a whole calendar. 30 days of the craziest shit they were doing to us. You know? So it's like, yeah, niggas gonna feel a certain way about you. You know what I mean? You could say, oh, you know, that was way back when. And I agree with that. It was way back when. But you can't get mad at people for not just being good with you or just being good. Like, you know, especially when you can still see the effects of it today. Like, that shit crazy. I'll put that shit over here real quick. My fault, y'all. I just have to, you know what I mean?
The truth is, people from all backgrounds are tired of ghetto culture. And like we touched on earlier, ghetto culture and black culture are not the same thing. They've been falsely lumped together, especially by the entertainment industry, in order to sell an image, but they're not synonymous, and they are not the same thing. What's really happening is this. The bad behavior of a small group within a larger group is being tied to race, when in reality it's about culture, class, and choices. And as someone who's black myself and has observed a lot of the mindsets that permeate within the black community, I think the one thing that's holding a lot of us back is the victimhood mentality. A lot of us as kids, through the media, the people around us, and through politics, are taught that the world should feel sorry for us based on what's happened in history. And yes, I do believe in educating ourselves and others on what's happened in history, right? Because it's very important to know. But I don't believe in letting history hold you back from writing your current story.
Not facts, though. And that's when it starts to sound like an excuse. Because motherfuckers be like, I have never in my life, every choice I've made, I take full accountability for that choice. Every single choice I made in life, I take full accountability for. There was never, if I don't get the opportunities I don't get, I would never blame it on because I am black. It's just because I didn't do enough to get that opportunity. You know? It's really, like I said, it's a mindset thing. But your environment can shape your mindset. So if you're in an environment that people aren't being held accountable and your talents aren't being nourished, of course you're gonna fall within the cracks and start chipping into the ghetto culture.
At the end of the day, if you really think about it, it doesn't make sense, but ain't no way our ancestors went through all that just for us to feel sorry for ourselves. It doesn't make any sense. I've never been a fan of any group of people looking at me and saying, poor you because of this and that. Not only do I not want your sympathy, but you can keep that because I don't need it. What I say is my battle scars don't define me. They're just a part of my story. Now let's lighten the load for a second and talk about a viral story that ties into everything we've been talking about. The Carnival cruises. I'm sure a lot of y'all have heard about this one. For my international viewers, Carnival is a popular American cruise line that operates out of Florida. It's known for being affordable and a fun time, minus the, drama, which we're going to get into in a second, right? A few weeks ago, Carnival put up a message to their guests with a list of new rules. Things like no loud music on speakers, no smoking in restricted areas, and no weed on board. Pretty basic stuff if you ask me. Now, there's a lot of backlash on social media about these new rules. Some people felt like Carnival was trying to push black folks.
This is cruise lines trying to push back against having large numbers of black customers on their ships. Nigga, you don't have to play your music on the speakers, bro. Like what?
Out as customers, especially since more and more black people have been cruising in recent years. But let's be real, the backlash doesn't make no sense at all, okay? First of all, I'm generally confused as to why we'd assume those rules were automatically about us. Like, if you hear no fighting, no weed, no indecent clothes, and your first thought is they must be talking about black people,
that's a self-image problem. That's you, nigga. That's on you. Like, what the fuck?
Says more about what's been normalized in some of our spaces than it does about the company's intentions. Because when I read those rules, I didn't associate them with black folks at all. My first thought was, okay, looks like they're just trying to filter out the chaos. It sounded like a business setting a standard for the type of crowd they want, not a coded attack on race. So the fact that so many people, especially in...
Nah, they gotta be trolling. They gotta be trolling, bruh. They gotta be trolling. They basically don't want black cruising. Woosah. Peace and tranquility.
Black Twitter did take offense. Kind of shows how deeply some of these behaviors have been tied to our image, even when they shouldn't be. And honestly, I really take offense to that, okay? Because the rules didn't mention race, they mentioned behavior. Carnival is a business, and like any business, they want to create a safe environment for everyone. I mean, there's kids on these cruises, there's families, people who are just trying to relax, okay? Calling that racism waters down what real racism actually looks like, if you ask me. The truth is, the people complaining the loudest were probably the ones who had no intention of following the rules in the first place. And honestly, you know what? I'm just getting to that point where I'm tired, because I'm just tired of a small group of loud, reckless individuals getting all this attention, and the rest of...
Honestly, I don't even give a fuck no more. Let's keep it real. What niggas do over there is what niggas do over there. If you want to judge me off that, that's you. I just know I'm not going to act that way. I'm not going to fit your stereotype that you got on me. But if you want to judge me on that, cool. Just don't say it to my face. Keep it to yourself.
But just gotta get judged for the behavior of this very, small group of black people in the black community. Like, I'm tired of being boxed into stereotypes I don't relate to or condone. I'm tired of having to feel like I gotta prove I'm not like that just to get basic respect. I'm tired of seeing the worst examples of us go viral and then get labeled as representation. That's not black culture. That's dysfunction, packaged and sold as entertainment, and we're done letting it speak for us. Personally, I don't have black fatigue.
Hey, the viral moments, people live for fights and all that. So they gonna look, you get the point.
I have people who don't know how to act in public fatigue. I have no home training fatigue. And this is not about race, right? It's about how you show up in shared spaces with other human beings. Respecting others in that way, it's not hard, but somehow people still have not learned that. The saddest part about this whole black fatigue thing is that it's only gonna get worse on both sides. On one hand, we got the youth, like the YNs we talked about, running around playing stick-up men, acting like Tony Montana.
Tony Montana is crazy. Man, keep an eye on your kids. Keep an eye on your kids, bro. I was watching this video last night, and this dude was like, what advice would you give, for your kids, whatever like that? He said a bunch of shit, but what stuck with me, he was like, remember, your kids are one bad friend away for ruining their life. So keep that in mind. Your kid is one friend away from ruining their life.
No. Catching felonies and bodies and pushing dysfunction like it's normal. A lot of these kids don't have father figures, no structure, no guidance. So the behavior continues and the tension keeps building. And then we have this small group of black folks who show up with no respect, no self-awareness, no discipline. They're going to keep making it harder for the rest of us. And as that continues, unfortunately, more people outside of our community are going to grow resentful.
That's because niggas don't be having, see, he just don't got control of his shawty. He just don't got control of his shawty, but she don't even see you. Like.
And the same thing is also going to happen within the community. There's going to be more assumptions, more stereotypes, more division. And I absolutely hate that for us. If there's one thing I really want to say is we have to start holding each other accountable for how we show up, period. Too many of us walk through life, period, avoiding real conversations about accountability because we don't want to ruffle feathers. But that's the very thing that's keeping us stuck. And this is especially relevant in the black community. Real accountability is what's going to create a safer environment, not just for us, but for our future kids as well. Because at the end of the day, we're all a part of the same society. And if we've gotten to a point where basic respect feels optional, we've already lost. At the end of the day, I just really hope that this kind of conversation opens the door for more conversations to be had about the things that are actually going on in the world in general. What's actually happening, why it's happening, and how we move forward. This is about...
Like, niggas got to start coming up with solutions. It's a whole lot of complaining, no solutions. But also, you can't force people to act a certain way. But what you can do is separate from them. Don't enable them. Tell them how you feel about their behavior. And then they'll be able to know how to act around you. Don't come over here and our bullshit. Whatever shit you got going on over there, that shit stay over there. It's like shit like that. And then once they know you stand on business, you good from there.
Calling out bad behavior. It's not about tearing each other down or division. It's about accountability, growth, and wanting better for all of us. If you made it this far, drop a little like on this video because I kept it real.
I got you a like. I ain't gonna lie, you good. BlackySpeaks, my dog. But that was a good video. Like I think he did a nice, good breakdown of the whole black fatigue thing. Like I said, I think people just need to. It really starts when they're young. You have to keep an eye on your kids, you know, and you gotta emphasize 2-parent households, you know, with a mother and a father. And yeah, people be like, oh, you know, they don't need the dad. Yeah, damn right. Okay. Like, people need they need that authority and they need that nurturing, you know? But people don't be giving a fuck. People have kids with anybody. I'm like, damn, you having a kid? Do you know I feel like I be caring more about women that be pregnant by like ain't shit dudes, like ain't shit niggas than they do. I'm like, damn, you finna have, like, you know what pregnancy could do to you? But hey, it ain't my body. It ain't my, you know what I'm saying? They body, their choice. Do your thing. Fuck it. I can't save you. You can't save yourself. But I'm going, y'all. Peace.